yeah, you're okay. So I've noticed I've got a few more subscribers, so welcome. My name's Michelle, and I do a mix of videos, usually true crime cases, usually involving sexual deviants or predators of some sort, or iffy cases where like it's been decided that it's suicide when it's clearly murder. So welcome. So today's video, if you look back on some of my previous videos these last few weeks on Stephen van der Velde, I said in one of them, I don't know what one, that I think my words were, what's gonna happen if Stephen van der Velde and Matthew Immers, if they win a trophy and then they go back to their country as heroes and kids are all flocking to them because they're heroes, what's going to happen then? And I had a feeling I'd have to make this video. I didn't think it'd be so soon. So I've had to take a week. So I think I'm about, where are we now? We're Friday now. So I'm probably a bit of a week behind, because when it came out, I filmed, but I was so angry that I was like a maniac in the video, and I had to delete it because I thought I looked like a raving lunatic. I'm kind of like that most of the time anyway, on a good day. But like, this whole situation makes my blood boil. So I needed to take some time away, breathe, and come back to it. So as I've said in previous ones, Stephen van der Velde is a volleyball player, and he's just been to the Paris Olympics, and now he's also in the European Championships. Now in the last week, his wife, who also plays volleyball, she's also a police officer. Yeah, make that make sense. Stephen van der Velde gave an interview to a Dutch TV thing, and in it he starts crying, like so many predators do. And then it came out that there was a picture with him with kids. Now, if you don't know the story, in 2014, Stephen van der Velde, volleyball player, he was 19, and he was talking to a girl on Facebook who he thought was 16 at the time. The girl then says to him, the girl's in England, in Kent, the girl says, actually I'm not 16, I'm actually 12. So Stephen van der Velde cuts things off. But then in his stupid brain, he decides to contact this 12-year-old little girl again. By now, he knows she is 12. That should have been the moment where he was like, listen, you're really sweet and nice, but you're a child. You know, I'm an adult, you're a child, this can't happen. But no, Stephen van der Velde booked flights from the Netherlands to England. He then flew on that flight, he met the girl, and he raped her twice. And he sent her to get the morning after pill to like a sexual health clinic the next day. And obviously they were like, how old are you? And she's like 12, and they made a report to the police. And then, you know, he was eventually arrested and charged and sentenced in the UK. Now, we sentenced him a shitty sentence of 4 years, and we put him on the sex offenders register for life in the UK. His own defence lawyer at the time said, you know, you've basically thrown away a career in volleyball. That's the end of your career. So he done 12 months in the UK prison, and we've got some sort of treaty with the Netherlands. So after the 12 months, he was eligible to be transported, extradited to the Netherlands to finish his sentence. So he was put in prison. He served 4 weeks, and this treaty that the Netherlands have also got in place, it allows them to also alter the sentence. Just let me double check that it's not a charge as well. Treaty 11. Yeah, so this treaty that's in place allowed the Netherlands to change his rape charge to the charge of fornication. She was 12, and he served 4 weeks, and then they let him out. And then he went on just happily, merrily competing in volleyball competitions. Now, it weren't until the Paris Olympics when people clicked on to who he was and what he was. By this time, like I said, he's married to a police officer who also plays volleyball, and he's got a little boy who I think is 2. So, the first game at the Olympics, people were starting to boo a little bit. The second game, the boos got louder. By the third game, Matthew Immers, his volleyball partner, came out and said, you know, we really rely on being cheered and pushed on, and, you know, gives us that little drive, and being booed every time he goes near the ball is really putting us off. And I made a video about it going, well, you know, get a different partner. One who hasn't raped a 12-year-old child. So, after he came out of the Paris Olympics, he was, I think he made it quite far. I think he missed out on the last 2 games, and then they were kicked out or something. Last week he gave an interview to Dutch broadcaster NOC. And in it, it's a self-pitying interview. In it, he says, I can't believe the backlash. I weren't expecting the backlash to be so intense. Well, you know, a lot of people don't like men who rape children, so I don't know what to tell you. He said that he considered quitting the Olympics, but he didn't want the bullies to win. And he said, you know, it's a shame because it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. Like, why can't you just forget it and move on? I've seen a few interviews with this man. Not once have I seen an ounce of guilt or remorse or understanding of the impact this has had on that 12-year-old child, who we know has been self-harming and has tried to kill herself. So, you know, just get over it. He then said, you know, this media coverage is hurting me wife and my child and my teammates. Well, you know, don't marry a child rapist. Don't have a teammate who is a child rapist. And if you're a child rapist, don't have a child. I don't know what else to tell you. And it's like, so a few more days ago, like maybe 4 days ago, I got sent another article. And him and Matthew Immers are now at the they're at The Hague. And it's the European Beach Volleyball Championships. Now, there's pictures of parents encouraging the kids to fly up to him, to hug him, to get photos with him. You know, oh, you know, a child rapist, there's my child. What are parents doing? So anyway, he's in the Netherlands now, and he's being treated like a god, and, you know, he's a child rapist on our sex offenders register for life. Obviously doesn't mean anything to any other nation. And kids are going up to him, which I knew that they would, because kids idolise their favourite sports stars. They want to run up to them, they want to hug, you know, they want autographs and photos and hugs and kisses. And, you know, what's going to happen if there's a little girl that he likes and he says, oh, do you know what, come back to me dressing room, you know, I've got some signed photos here for you to have, and blah, 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 blah. He shouldn't be anywhere near children. That might be controversial to some people who have been leaving me messages, who have basically been saying, it's fine what he did. Well, it's not. It really isn't. I've done a lot of work around safeguarding, and like, there's absolutely no safeguarding for any kids. I was concerned in the Olympics because there's little mascots who are little kids. And now, I don't get it. What parent is saying to their child, there's a child rapist, go and get your photograph took with him? I mean, I know there are parents like that, because there was a band called The Lost Prophets, and the lead singer was this man called Ian Watkins, and everyone fell in love with him because he was charismatic and good looking and blah blah blah. Turns out he is a horrific paedophile, but his fans, his female fans, were actually offering up their babies to be abused. So there are parents out there who do not give a fuck about the kids. And unfortunately, there's also institutions and organisations who protecting and safeguarding little kids is not their priority. But for his teammate and his wife, and you know what, I don't care. I don't care. Get a better teammate, get a different husband. But as a policewoman who's married a man who has raped a 12-year-old girl, I would not trust her in the police. I wouldn't. I'd sack her yesterday. She's a disgrace. Anyway, that's my little update on Steven Velde. I just pray to God that we don't have an incident where, you know, it's one of them where he says, oh, come back to me dressing room, blah, blah, blah. Because he could, because there's no one stopping him, for one. And for two, kids would love that. Oh my God. I mean, my favourite sports star, I'm football mad. I support Liverpool Football Club. And like Steven Gerrard, I would have been the same as Steven Gerrard. If he'd have said, oh yeah, I've got pictures and I've got this in my dressing room, I'd be like, you know, lead the way. Because you do. You idolise sports stars and rock stars and singers and famous people, and that's how they get away with it. Our safety mechanism, our self-protection drops. Our guard is completely dropped when it's someone famous, because we feel like we know them, even though we don't. And I hope I don't have to make another video where there's another victim. I really do, because it could quite possibly be the case. Anyway, I do a series on my channel called Predators Among Us, and it's all about usually paedophiles who, you know, are caught with the most heinous child rape images and child sex abuse material. I'm talking thousands. I covered one case, he had 68,000. The police stopped counting when they got to 30,000 because they couldn't. It was too much. So, I've got I've got a backlog, not a backlog, but I've been saving them. So I'm gonna be, I'll do it. I'll do a playlist for me Predators Among Us, because there's clear patterns when it comes to child sex abuse, child rape, child sex abuse material. The system doesn't seem to care, and unfortunately you've got members of the public who also don't care, but I care, and I'd like to think people who subscribe to my channel care. To sexually abuse a child, to molest them, to touch them, to rape them, you destroy what that child would have been. Their path is altered in many different ways, how they feel about themselves. And we keep forgetting that every image is a victim. It's a child's life destroyed, and nobody seems to care within the criminal justice system. And it's the same with Stephen Van der Velde. She was a 12-year-old little girl. She weren't even a teenager yet. It's just devastating. It really is. It's through me. It really has. But anyway, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in my next one. Have a good day. Bye.